But okay, so we all went to Larson's in Encino. We planned on an early dinner sitting outside. Obviously can't sit inside. Krista and I got there a little early. We ordered a martini, hanging out. And suddenly I get frantic texts from Liat. And what did you say, Liat?
I said, holy shit, Jenni just pulled up next to us.
In the parking structure.
In the parking structure. But what's crazy is that morning, all of a sudden I'm driving, and I've been to Encino a bunch of times since Jenni and I haven't spoken.
Yes.
And I just thought, oh my God, I'm going to see Jenni tonight. Like it literally.
You thought about that.
I thought about it. That's why I freaked out when I saw her, because I was like, holy shit. And then I was like, no, Liat, you're telling yourself nonsense. It's not going to happen. And obviously, like being with you and Krista, I'm like, of course that would happen. And lo and behold. So I was freaking out. I didn't even see it. Trevor was like, oh my gosh, is that Jenni and John? And then.
And people need to understand that you guys were very, very good friends. Jenni was your best friend. We'll get to it, but you also had a falling out with Jenni along with 27 other people in the last 12 months.
Jesus.
But okay, so Trevor noticed Jonathan was in the car on the phone. Jenni had got out of the car and went upstairs, correct?
Correct.
Okay. At one point, I guess she was sitting out on the bench and, talking on the phone loudly like she does.
In front of the restaurant.
Yeah. So Chris and I were outside. I couldn't see her, but you guys walked in, and didn't you walk right by them?
Well, Jonathan wasn't out there. Jenni was on the phone, and it was just, we haven't spoken in over a year and a half, and I just didn't feel like it was the right. I couldn't be fake and be like, hey, how are you? And then I obviously didn't want to have a talk right there. So, yeah, I just walked right by.
Walked right by.
Got on with your life.
And she saw you.
I don't know for sure. I can't tell you for sure, but.
Okay.
I mean, we were the only people that walked by, and she was right there. I mean, I think my leg was 6 inches from her leg.
So
like,
she
not
walks
social
in.
Distance.
She walks in. She goes through the restaurant. She goes out to the patio. We're right. They go left, and they sit down. Now,
no, we didn't even know that they sat down.
Oh, that's
Remember?
right, because we sent Krista over to do a lap. Okay, so
she didn't do a lap. She got up and got right back down.
So that's right. Okay, you guys sat down. We didn't know if they had decided to go to another restaurant or not, but we pretty much knew, because there was one point where Jonathan was standing by the front door, and he could. I know he could totally see us there.
Yeah.
But it turned out that they came in and they sat on the left side of the patio. We were on the right side. Mm-hmm. So then your husband had a drink or two. I think Krista and I were on the number 2. And then your husband starts shit stirring like he does and said that I should probably buy them dinner.
Oh my God.
Well, no. First, he was like, oh, God. Trevor's actually the opposite of drama, despite what you saw in Flipping Out. That's a whole nother story. But when he sat down, was... He was afraid that Jeff was going to go up to them. He's like, oh, God, this is going to be so he was trying to stop that drama and go, why don't you just send them drinks instead, or buy their dinner, is what he said.
Right. And I was like, I'm not going to buy their dinner because Larson's is expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not buying their dinner. Yeah. And then Trevor's like, well, you got to at least send them drinks. We don't know what happened.
Okay.
But the manager came over and said they're not drinking tonight.
Mm. Well, he had said he went up to the waiter discreetly and said, hey, now we don't know if it was discreetly, hey, this table wants to send them drinks. And the waiter said, well, they're not drinking alcohol tonight.
Which, that's not the Jenni we know.
Yeah, the Jenni I knew had drinks at dinner, always.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
she could be doing like a dry October like I did for September.
Look, we're not judging her for not drinking. We're just, it's just unusual.
It is unusual.
Yeah. So then we didn't know, did they reject it?
Maybe
did
she's
they
pregnant.
know it was coming?
Right.
She could
pregnant at 50?
I don't think she's quite 50 yet. But that's usually the surefire sign.
Months away.
Right.
Okay, so we don't know what happened. We told the manager they wanted to send drinks. For whatever reason, that came back as they're not drinking tonight.
Not happening.
So then Trevor, of course, is not going to let that go. So we waited for dinner, and then we tried to send them dessert.
Oh, that was nice.
They're not having dessert.
Oh, they're not?
No, they came back, and he said, I went up to the waiter again, and she said, they're full. So, yeah.
I don't know. It sounds to me like they knew it was you guys.
They had to have known.
I mean,
well, what's interesting is that I would have been very friendly had I gone over to if they were closer to us, I probably would have gone over and said hello.
Well, the irony is that when you reached out a few months ago or whenever it was on text, You legitimately said, I think you actually said, look, I don't want to go somewhere like Larson
No.
Casino and
run into you.
Yes.
like verbatim words.
Right.
So the fact that it happened, and this was your exact reason why, because if you're civil, you can at least say hello. It's
Right.
just awkward. Yeah.
Because I already had apologized. I
Yeah.
said, I put my intentions were let's talk this out.
She frosted you.
She did.
Frosty.
Frosted.
Is it ghosted?
I think frosted something means something else.
Okay.